What's going on, everybody on YouTube?
Yeah.
Thanks for episode 2 for Too Much Commentary. I'm
Welcome
X.
to the show. Yeah, thanks everyone for leaving comments in our last video, and and especially to those who joined our last live stream. And again, we do our live streams on Monday at 9 p.m. So please be sure to tune in if you want to hear us live. But if not, make sure you tune into our channel and check out the after streams and our videos and so forth. But nevertheless, we got lots of new news articles to talk about.
Yes.
A lot of interesting topics. So we might as well just dive on in. So Alex, what's the latest topic?
Yeah, let's see. So first up was George Clooney. Okay. Man, I was almost fell on my seat when this came up. So let me kind of tell you guys what happened. So actor, famous actor George Clooney, who recently co-hosted a fundraiser for President Biden. I believe they raised almost $30 million a few weeks ago, is now publicly calling for Biden to drop out of the 2024 presidential race, saying he cannot win. Now, I don't think people understand how big of a deal this is. Now, George Clooney is like at the, he is the #1 A-list Hollywood donor for presidents, especially on the Democratic side. So him, and I believe he made a op-ed, I believe it was the New York Times. So for him to write this is huge news. And I wonder if him saying this is actually going to cause a lot more people to start coming out.
Now I got you. Because recently I was looking into this and I did see that there, especially even on The View, like because the problem is we need more people like George Clooney saying this, because I don't know, because following the debate, it seemed like everyone was down for telling Biden to step down, but recently over like the last week or two, some people have kind of fallen right back into their old patterns, and you got a lot of celebrities like Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Reid saying things like, "I'll vote for Biden if he's in a coma," and
even if he pooped in his pants.
Especially even if he poops in his pants and so forth. And then it takes a lot of bravery too to kind of like speak out, because you're going to have the whole Biden team, administration, people coming directly after you. Because I don't know if you remember when Eric Adams, who is the mayor of New York, when he kind of spoke to Biden about the whole Biden thing, the whole migrant crisis, suddenly he's being investigated. So that lets you know that Biden is listening to all the people who are complaining and making comments and so forth. Now, I don't think.
Sorry, you said the man's being investigated now?
Yeah, he was being investigated.
Oh, man. Woo,
yeah. So now I'm not saying he's probably not gonna do anything to George Clooney, because it sounds like from when I was reading that they actually are pretty good friends. Like you said, he attended his fundraiser. But what was so I guess insult to injury was Obama had to actually walk Biden off the stage or something like that, to that effect. So it just kind of like reinforces what everyone sees. Like, even though the media keeps trying to like make it seem as if we're over exaggerating, it's like everyone, George Clooney sees it. I mean, the Disney family said they didn't want to support it. Everyone sees it. I mean,
I was gonna say I just got my eyes checked yesterday, my annual exam, and I watched the part of the debate clips again, I saw it's still correct. He's still messed up really bad.
And if anything else, I know like people keep trying to say, well, he can still do the job. I don't, like I think Whoopi was saying, if he can't barely put together a sentence or walk, at least he can do the job. But it's like, if you can't put together a sentence,
part of the job.
Exactly.
That is the job.
Exactly. But let's say even that, I mean, we got what, maybe 300 some million people in this country. You mean tell me there's nobody else that can talk and is coherent and actually, we can put in place that would be actually attractive? I mean, that's the biggest thing about this,
Real quick, I was just going to mention some quotes from the article that I thought were really interesting.
Yeah.
So he said, it's devastating to say, but Joe Biden, I was with 3 weeks ago at the fundraiser, was not the Joe Biden of 2010. He wasn't even the Joe Biden of 2020. He was the same man we all witnessed at the debate. And then he also says, party leaders need to stop telling us that 51 people didn't see what we just saw.
Nah, I agree. I
It's
mean, it's unanimous. I mean, like I said, when Van Jones, who's like saying things like, "Oh, I really love the man. That's a good man." He is just saying things like, "That wasn't it." I mean, I don't know, because you're talking about top people who are completely loyal to like the Democrats, man. Like when it affects them, you know something is wrong. I mean, it's not like like he tried to say it's like a one-off interview. Potentially going to do another one. I don't think they're going to do another debate. It doesn't really seem like it.
So so news just came in maybe like an hour ago. He's doing another interview with NBC this time on Monday. So it's gonna be a really interesting week. So tomorrow is the NATO summit. So get to see. So this is his first big boy press conference.
Gotcha.
And by big boy, it's a press conference where he's not going to have a teleprompter in front of him, and he's actually going to have reporters asking dozens of questions that he's going to have to answer for.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to see how he handles this. And again, if it was a bad night, I totally understand. You know, we all have bad nights. But you know, it seems like every single time I see him, he is messing up. He doesn't really know what he's talking.
It just looks worse and worse. He looks lost, partially freezing, his mouth always open. It just looks, you know.
And again, I actually feel bad for the man. Like I really
exactly. Like we said, like no one is expecting you at 81 years old to be as sharp as you were when you were 40 or 50. It's nothing you can do. It's really nothing you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand he wants to fight it. I'm sure at some point when we get that age, we'll probably know exactly how it kind of feels. You know, you don't like you mentioned before, you don't want to lose your independence, but it is what it is. I mean, you're just not the same as you were when you're in your 20s, 30s. It's not the same.
Of course. And so one more quote that I saw that was interesting. He said, "This isn't only my opinion. This is the opinion of every senator and Congress member and governor that I've spoken with in private, every single one, irrespective of what he or she is saying publicly." So that's what's so confusing. You know, I'm looking at interviews. I think Chuck Schumer was on yesterday, even Nancy Pelosi. You know, I stand by Joe. You know, he's the nominee. But then I hear everyone keeps on saying me, but this is not what they're saying publicly. Everyone behind the scenes in their group chats are saying they want him to step down. If you guys want the man to step down, we have to say it publicly. Otherwise, he's just going to continue.
Yeah. This is when people have chosen their career over the country for the most part. Because even AOC, she now she's trying to say, "Oh, I stand by Biden." It just, I don't know, it's just very disappointing. It's like people you thought would speak out, they're not speaking out. They're just, like you said, behind the scenes, they probably know he shouldn't do it, but they care more about their career than actually trying to win an election. So they're just gonna wind up with a big L in November, but that's on them. I mean, then they're really gonna be.
Yeah, man. So I just don't know why people aren't saying anything. It's
they need. I think they were even saying at one point, there were a group of the Democrat like senators. They all were going to go to like the White House and kind of all together try to get him to step down. But as you know, he's stubborn. It's probably not going to work. You know.
Well, also they haven't gone to the White House and told him to step down yet. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. They all kind of scared for some reason.
Yeah. So we'll see, man. We got again, he was supposed to step down last week. Then this week he's supposed to step down.
Yeah.
I don't think
I don't see it happening. But on that note, I guess we can I don't know if you heard recently about Serena Williams. She kind of did like almost like a sneak diss towards Drake. I don't know if you heard.
Okay, well, about it? I mean, of course, I heard with the Kendrick Lamar Drake diss. Was it Not Like Us?
Yeah, exactly, Not Like Us. So so anyway, there's a few bars in the Kendrick song in which she mentions Serena Williams, and pretty much when Serena heard it, she made a comment, said that this is like the hit of the summer. So the reason is so it just
all the songs. This is the hit of the summer. Dang.
Yeah. So to anyone who doesn't know, there was rumors back in the early like 2010s that Serena was dating Drake, but it turns out around that time she actually was dating Common. So, and actually was a little feud between Common and Drake because of that. Because everyone kept thinking that he was dating her, but she was pretty much dating Common at that time. Even though they said at one point, I think they did like lock lips or something like that. Okay. But you know, like Drake kind of like he's kind of been like a player since, you know, like a long time. So he's dating her. Recently he was dating Sexy Red. You know, at one point in the past he was trying to date Rihanna and so forth. Right. So so anyway, back on Serena Williams. Recently there's been a little she's had some issues with her husband. So I kind of think that she's just in a mood of like I don't know. She's having a lot of like problems with the guy she's been dating. So I think this is just her way to kind of vent. So she just took a jab at Drake. She's probably just thinking about all the guys that have kind of like played with her or screwed her over. So like she's like taking a dig at him. And it's just like I don't know. Drake just can't take a break. I mean, this feud's been going on for like a while. I mean, I'm not sure how many disses back and forth we're at now. It's probably at least what 4 for 4. Like, you know.
I've definitely lost count. I want to say he did one more after Kendrick Did Not Like Us, but I can't keep track. But the point is, Not Like Us is the best diss out of all the disses.
Yeah, like everyone is. Yeah.
And really supported that. Kendrick actually just dropped the music video last week, and it was pretty nice. It was pretty nice. You have to like watch it a few times because I guess there's lots of different Easter eggs there.
I agree.
Lots of different visual disses to Drake. It's
I agree. I mean, Kendrick kind of went hard in the paint on Drake. He like I guess one of his previous disses was him talking to like his parents, talking to his son. They just both of them just kind of went below the belt. And you know, like recently, because I believe Kendrick is associated with like Rick Ross. Incident happened where Rick Ross they went to Canada. Yeah, somebody punched Rick Ross. Supposedly, they're trying to say they were associated with Drake. Right. A lot of people don't think so. They just think that he's trying to take credit.
You remember, Rick Ross was taunting Drake about a month ago. He called him white boy. You know.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
And again, you know, I hate when we get
colorists.
Well, it's like, come on, guys, biracials. We have always accepted biracials into the African community. They are black. They're half black.
Yeah, exactly. To me, it's such a how can I say it? It's kind of like when you run out of insults, you have nothing left. It's kind of like it's the low hanging fruit. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't think of anything
you really
else.
Want to hurt biracials' feelings? Call them white.
Yeah, exactly. You went below the belt. It's like you went kind of low. I mean, come on now, like kind of like you ain't even want us at all. So, I mean, come on now, like.
Yeah, and even Kendrick, Kendrick actually, the song is called "Not Like Us." He's insinuating that Drake pretty much is a culture vulture. He from Canada came over to America, kind of took over the black hip hop community. And again, it's not. I don't think so. First of all, I am a Drake fan, so I don't think he's over. The man is very talented. Like. We all, went to his concerts, listened to his albums, his singles.
Yeah, exactly.
In the clubs, reciting his lyrics. Like, he is our Tupac and Biggie.
And I agree. Like, even though, like, people gave him a hard time about finding out later, maybe he didn't write some of his stuff. But it turns out almost every day you find out other rappers, they didn't write their stuff. Even Snoop, like I thought Snoop wrote all this stuff. Found out some of his stuff was written by somebody else.
It's a collaboration, man. Making a song, a hit song. Yeah, you're gonna have some help with some,
exactly.
Rappers, some of your friends, the producers will want to get in.
Exactly.
Like, it's okay. It's okay. So, So I mean, I think that we need to just call this whole beef over. I mean, it pretty much is over. Kendrick won.
Yeah.
Again, I'm a fan, but Kendrick won hands down, especially with that epic concert. I think it was back in Inglewood. a few weeks ago. They streamed on Amazon Prime. I mean,
I agree. I agree. I think it's just the reason I guess they just felt like since the distance were finally drawing people back to hip hop and want to learn, want to listen to more music, want to see the artists, because we haven't really had anything to really like stir the pot and get people interested in like watching the awards and, because now you want to see the awards to see what's going to happen and so forth.
Right.
So I think that, I guess they felt like they need to just keep going back and forth because it's like drawing more fans, attention, concert sales, tickets, and so forth.
Sorry, no, I was just going to say, I really do like, we're making hip hop fun again.
Yeah, exactly. Give us something interesting to talk about.
Back in the 90s, early 2000s, there was so much beef. One of my favorite beefs was between 50 Cent and Ja Rule back in the day. And 50, boy, he clowned Ja Rule so much. My goodness. I think that was the first time when we realized 50 is a troll, but he's a very funny troll.
He can be very petty too. And he went all the way there, and it just kind of,
he pretty much canceled Ja Rule's career. And I pray that Kendrick's Not Like Us disc canceled Drake's career. That'd be very sad.
Because I'm trying to think. Because the only thing is, maybe in Drake's case, he might be okay only because his lyrics are like good enough and he has good enough beats. Even though Ja Rule did have good beats too, but I would say Drake is a little bit more lyrical than Ja Rule. So I think for that reason, he can kind of hold his own, even though technically he's not writing his own rhymes. But
Drake has a true fan base. Like he's
exactly
a Beyonce. Like they have their whole fan base that pretty much rule the world. So I think Drake just finished up one of the biggest top rap tours of all time. So
exactly. Yeah, so he's not.
But I am curious to see how his next album and next singles are going to do because
no, I agree. You'll have to really
cool to make fun of Drake. Which is
I agree. So you have to come with it on this next one.
Yeah. The last thing, unfortunately, sometimes I feel like you got to pick your battles, and I think for this one, Drake should have just sat down and ate his food. And
I agree.
After the first one,
I agree. I think, like you said, I don't think he thought Kendrick was gonna come at him that hard and that many times. I thought it was because he probably just thought it was gonna be a one-off thing. But when he just saw that, it was kind of like spiraling in a completely different direction.
Stop. This man is not going to stop.
And
I also think that Drake thought no one was going to jump on Kendrick's side.
No, I agree.
Drake has had all the love from all the hip hop fans.
I agree.
For the last decade, so he said, "No, this is my country." Even though
I agree,
but
it's
so,
a little bit more than he can bite off.
So Serena, it is a good song. I do have to give it. It is a good song. I do need to learn how to crip walk too, so I can start jamming to. Not like
I agree. But she needs to just let it. I mean, at this point. 2010, we in 2014. You already got a husband, so you're supposed to be moved on by this. Why are you still worried about old flames and so forth? But
yeah. I think she just want to add a little salt to the wound,
Yeah, exactly. Just get a little petty with him. But nevertheless, did you hear about the Alec Baldwin trial has started? I think they already did opening arguments and so forth. To anybody who's unfamiliar with the whole trial situation, I don't know if you may remember, you may not. But anyway, Alec Baldwin was working on a film called Rust that was supposed to come out, I believe, this year. Yeah. So anyway, in one of the scenes on the set, there was going to be a scene which he had to have a gun. And he was going to, I'm not sure exactly what he was going to, what type of scene it was, but nevertheless, there was a scene in which he was going to have to do some practice with a gun. And unfortunately, they used a real gun. And unfortunately, the gun turned out to be loaded. And so as he was aiming the gun around, practice and so forth, the gun went off and it killed the young lady you see on the screen right there. Her name is
Helena Hustings, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So unfortunately, she's a cinematographer. She wound up getting killed on the set. And now Alec Baldwin is charged with manslaughter. So they actually started the opening arguments recently.
Just quick clarification. This is actually the second trial for this. So
second. Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah. So he actually was, because this happened back in 2021.
Gotcha.
So as soon as it happened, the husband was, furious, and the case was prosecuted. However, I believe for some reason they dropped the charges for Alec. So the I forget the name of the person that handles the guns on set.
Yes.
Armorer.
Yeah.
Huh?
I believe it's called the armorer.
Yeah. So that person, she actually ended up going to jail because it is, at the end of the day, it is her job to make sure she.
Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
She ended up going to jail. For some reason, they dropped Baldwin's charges, but over the past year, they brought them up again. So this is actually the second trial, and it's for manslaughter. I think he can face up to 18 months in prison.
Yeah, I saw that. So I guess they, of course, like I said, one of your loved ones died. You want them to have complete justice. So of course they came back with him and said you're still partially responsible because technically you used, even though it's a gun, it's not loaded. Everyone knows you don't point a gun, period, and it's at anybody. You don't know. So I know it was mentioning things like he said he didn't check if the gun was loaded because I guess he just assumed that the armorer had checked everything and it was loaded and all that. And since I guess they wanted to be realistic in the film, they didn't want it to be like a fake rubber gun. Not sure because they have a lot of props to look real. I mean, I don't think anybody would have noticed, but I guess he wanted to feel like get really into his role and have a real gun and so forth. So supposedly, as the judge was saying, he was playing with a real gun, pointing at people and so forth. And unfortunately went off on her. Now, the thing that's so weird about this is if somebody was going to get shot, I would think it would be like another actor or something. You're on the scene. Let's say you have a scene in which you're robbing somebody, you're pointing it. This is a cinematographer. She's behind the camera. So why are you pointing the gun at her? It just sounds so.
So let me tell you why. So they were actually, in film, they do different shots. So they were actually, I guess, trying to get a close-up shot of him with the gun.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. So he actually was pointing it at the camera, and I'm assuming she happened to, she's a cinematographer, so she was behind the camera.
Oh, I got you. So she put that camera on him. He was pointing, trying to take a cool scene. Yeah, it was like James Bond or something.
So I guess my question to you, Mike, is what do you think he should go to jail for this? Was it an accident? Well, I think we can all agree it was an accident.
Yeah, exactly. It was an accident.
That's not the question. The question is, should he be responsible for the accident? My 2 cents, I would say yes. And it's a gun. Like if you're holding a gun in your hand, it's your responsibility to know if it's loaded or not.
No, I agree.
Yes, it's the armorer's responsibility, of course. First of all, it shouldn't even have been loaded. One.
Exactly.
The assistant director, when he handed the gun to Alec, I believe he said cold gun, and cold gun means it's empty.
Yes.
And I think the assistant director also didn't check.
Yeah.
So again, but at the end of the day, again, if I was an actor and I have this, weapon that could harm someone fatally, I am going to do my due diligence to make sure that it's not real.
No, I agree. And then just like you said, the other piece of the puzzle is technically you were pulling the trigger too. Right. So it's not like you just held the gun up and it went off. And it went to some degree you're flicking the gun around, you're shooting it, and then it goes off. Yeah. So you're still somewhat at fault. And then again, someone died. So I just feel like maybe he shouldn't maybe go to jail, but there should be some huge penalty, a whole lot of big lawsuit or something.
So my thing is he's doing the wrong defense. His defense, which is crazy because this is what he said last time, is he's saying, him and his lawyer are saying that he never pulled the trigger. It just automatically went off.
I saw that. So I saw that.
But it was tested. Like they tested the weapon and they said, no, this gun it works just fine. For the bullet to come out, a human has to pull the trigger.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's what happened.
He's trying to dodge responsibilities. Obviously, I'm sure he's like, I don't want to go to jail for 18 months. So he's just trying to, but like I said, insulting people's intelligence. I didn't pull the trigger. I didn't know this was going on. Yeah. It's like, we all know you knew this. Yeah. So I just think kind of like you said, he didn't intend to do it. Manslaughter to me is like if me, you get in an argument with somebody, you do something crazy, like maybe you pick up a bottle, you hit the person, they die or something like that. That's like manslaughter because it was some aggression. Here, I wouldn't even say it's aggression. It was just
So
he was being.
I'm not a lawyer. I always thought manslaughter was more. It was an accident. It was
exactly. But yeah, I
that
agree.
was due to your negligence.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's true. I agree. So that's why it technically can fall on that, but it's just a matter of like generally, like whenever I've seen people get like that charge, it's usually like they're in a heated argument, they weren't thinking, like maybe they just have to have something in their hand, they hit the person passed away. So technically, like you're correct in this instance, it was like, you know, on his end, he should have did more checks. So it's still it's kind of like how can I explain? Like maybe you're in a car, you know, you're driving, you're like texting or something, you look up, you wind up hitting the person dies. You didn't really mean to kill them, but still on your part, you weren't, you know, you weren't being responsible. So unfortunately, you still gotta pay, that penalty. Just like in this case, you still gotta pay that penalty. I just think that with the lawyers and so forth, it's just gonna be it's gonna be like a heavy lawsuit. That's what I think is gonna happen.
I think they already sued him and they won. So like, you know, like the civil is done now and we're doing criminal. And I think again, he should be happy it's only 18 months. Like I
agree.
We should just take the plea deal. And I believe if he takes a plea deal, it'll probably even be less than 18 months.
No, I agree. And they'll probably even let him do like
community service,
home, you know, was it home arrest? You know, like he could just do his time at home, or he might even go to like a rich people jail where, you know, he's not, you know, playing tennis, everything else, but he's behind like bars.
Martha Stewart jail.
Exactly. Something like that. So, I don't.
The prison.
I don't see him like doing a hard time there with like, I don't see that happening, but he like you say, he might be in danger actually having to maybe be on house arrest or something like that. So, well, we'll see, but
we'll see. Hopefully it's a speedy trial. Like this happened 3 years ago. Let's just show the evidence, do closing arguments, and call it a day. So
I agree. Just
we'll see.
And everyone just you know, anytime you have a gun, just
check to make sure it's not loaded.
Check to make sure that
I think that's the lesson learned in this. So
I agree.
Man, well, again, so much stuff else to come later this week. Again, the NATO summit. I'm really interested to see what our president has to say about, you know, all the crazy stuff that's going on in the world with the, you know, Russia-Ukraine war. And also, you know, more updates on, is he gonna step down, especially since our favorite A-list actor, George Clooney, told him to. So
I agree. It's gonna definitely be an interesting year to see what happens in politics. We still got maybe 4 more months left before
4 more months
until it's time to vote. And when Democrat, I think it's the national convention is coming up soon. So I think that's the last opportunity, I guess, for him to step down and for someone else to take over. So it's going to be very interesting. So I'm assuming as we get closer to that, it's going to be more and more pressure, more and more interesting articles, but we'll definitely see. So
and we will definitely keep everyone's tuned in of what's going on in our Too Much Commentary.
Thanks everybody for joining us. Please, if you can, leave comments. Tell us what you thought about this. What do you think about the whole Alec Baldwin situation? What do you think about Serena Williams chiming in about Drake? What do you think about Biden? Should Biden step down? What do you think Biden's going to do? Just let us know in the comment section. You know, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when we're live, you know, when we have our next video out.
And eventually we will be Monday through Friday, you know, again, trying to just slowly ramp up to that. You know, there's a lot of coordination and schedules that we're trying to rearrange. But definitely want to start reaching out to you guys more and more often. So again, hit us up and talk soon.